All right, I'm going to try and keep this video quick. It's something we're going to go over in class, so hopefully if you're watching this, it's either because you missed this talk in class or you needed a little of a review. So this video has specific dates and times for this exact assignment for our quarter 3 Lit and Lang 1 class. Please watch this video. Hopefully it'll answer any questions you have, and if it doesn't, reach out then, but do make sure that you watch or you've gone through the instruction. So we're going to have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all 4 school days of this week, the 4th week of our 3rd quarter, to compose your first MELCon paragraph of the quarter. It is going to be on Animal Farm, which we've been reading, more specifically about Squealer and his use of propaganda, which is something that we've been covering throughout the quarter. Like all assignments, this will be due Sunday, in this case February 14th by midnight. Turning this assignment in late will result in a late penalty where you lose 5 points for every day it is not turned in after the deadline. So we want to make sure that we get this turned in. We have 4 school days to be working on this, and then Friday we are off because of conferences, so there's no school that day, and then obviously no school Saturday and Sunday. So 4 school days, 3 extra calendar days if needed in order to get this done by Sunday. So you have lots of time. Just because we have lots of time doesn't mean that we should be putting it off. We want to make sure that we kind of chunk this out, evenly divide up the work so we can get this done and off our plate and do a nice job. So you will need to have read through Chapter 3 of Animal Farm like we have done in class. If you have not done so, that is going to be the first step of your process. You may want to go back and look at your reading log for Chapter 3, which was assignment number 9. That might provide you with some ideas. But if not, that's not required. So I made a checklist of everything you need to do in order to get this assignment done in a timely fashion. So first, reading Chapter 3 of Animal Farm if you have not done so already, or rereading if you are very unsure of what happens in that. 2, open up the MELCon paragraph prompt and read the prompt/question that you will answer for your MELCon. There's no choice this time. In the past, we've had some choice in our MELCons, and we likely will again in the future, but I want everyone answering the same question this time. So I've listed all these attachments, and they are in the order that you would find them in our list up here. So let's go to that prompt first. As we wait for that to load, here we go. So your question, the prompt, all right, what you're going to be answering in your MELCon paragraph is the following. What is one form of propaganda Squealer uses in his speech, and why is it effective? All right, so that is the question you're going to be answering. So we're answering this. We're trying to find something. This is all some extra info that I'm going to allow you to read on your own. The big thing here is this is the question. This is what you're basing your writing off of. And then we want to go down to here. These are the different types of propaganda. There are 8. We have taken notes on this before. There's video lecture. We've gone through the lecture in class. So there's a lot of different ways to review those if you need help. And then what I really want you to do is scroll to the last page of this document. I literally just copied and pasted the page where we are seeing Squealer talk in Chapter 3. So your quote is probably going to be coming from this page, all right? So I put it here to cut down on the rereading that you would have to do. And anything that Squealer says in this chapter, the type of propaganda he uses here is going to be seen here, all right? So you might probably going to be using some sort of quote from this speech. So moving on, we're going back to our checklist. 3, open the student rubric and see how this assignment will be graded. Notice it's 50 points, all right? So it's going to be about 40% of our grade for the current class up till this point. This will take up 40% of our grade for the first 4 weeks, all right? Main idea, evidence, link, concluding statement, citation, each is worth 10 points each. You are expected to do your own MLA formatting like we learned about first semester. Otherwise, you will lose points. You may do this on your own, but there will be a tutorial on how to go about using MLA format in class during our class or our meet on Thursday. You are always welcome to look at the rubric and see like how this is going to be graded, potentially come up with some ideas. So let's open that up real quick. See our expectations. I'm not going to read through the entire rubric with you, but I will show you what it looks like. So main idea, evidence, link, concluding statement, citations, they're 10 points each. So you can see the wide variety of point totals that you could get and what I'm looking for. So what am I looking for an A? The bolded part is the extra, the part that's improved from the previous one, okay? So you can kind of see the more things that are expected for the higher amount of points. All these things down here are things to avoid. So when we're proofreading at the end, we should be looking for these mistakes and hopefully fixing them so we can avoid these deductions. And then you can see the lowest amount of points you can get to get a certain letter grade. So you are more than welcome to look at that in more detail. I just wanted to let you know that that's there and what it looks like. Next, you would open up the MELCon graphic organizer. Think of this as a rough draft. It lists all the parts of the MELCon paragraph as well as providing a space to write each part. I've also provided the whole chapter here if you would like it, but just know the speech that he gives is going to be on the last page of this prompt like I showed you earlier. So we're opening up our graphic organizer here. We need to do this first, all right? I have hyperlinks to a bunch of things here, back to the prompt, to a list of transition words that we would be using in our paragraph. There we see those a couple times. This isn't a list of all transition words, but it is a list of ones that would work, so possibly to jumpstart. The rubric is here, and then the text is here as well with the audio. So lots of resources. They're all in our classwork assignment here, but they are also put at the top of your graphic organizer to hopefully make it as easy as possible. So first, I just want you to put the prompt up here so you can see what you're going to be writing about, and you have that reminder constantly there if you need it. After that, main idea. I'm not exactly telling you what to do in each area. Like, this is not the first MELCon we've written all year, but I'm giving you this graphic organizer to organize your thoughts and to organize them in the appropriate order. And I'm also giving you a little tip under each one as far as a little hint for what you need to do. Obviously, we've covered this before, but if you want to talk, there's going to be plenty of times through questions throughout the week, whether you're at meets or in the classroom. So main idea, what is a good word to use to connect the position of our main idea to the reason of our main idea? So those are two of the most important things to include in our main idea. What's a word we can use to connect those? We're using a transition phrase, connecting that to our piece of evidence. We want to provide some context before our evidence. What can you say to help provide details to make the quote easier to understand? That's what we're putting in the context. Who's speaking? Who's being spoken to? What happened before the quote was said? There's a variety of different things that you can use for context. And the more details that we can get beforehand, the better. Then our evidence. What is the only thing that we use for evidence? For all our MELCons, we're doing a specific thing in the evidence section. We're using textual evidence. What's another word for that? What do we do to accomplish it? After our textual evidence, we use a citation. What two things go inside the citation? So you see a bit of a sample citation here with the parentheses and period. The link, there are two different parts to the link. The first part, 1A, what are you supposed to explain at the beginning of the link of your MELCon? So it's after our evidence. What did we do at the beginning of our link as far as our evidence is concerned? After that, part 1B of our link, what are you supposed to explain at the end of your link before moving on to your concluding statement? So there's two goals of our links. What are they? So this is going to be at least 2 sentences between the two. Then we transition into our concluding statement. What 2 parts of the MELCon do you paraphrase together in the concluding statement area? So you are really just paraphrasing, restating something that you've said earlier in various portions of your MELCon, all right? So I will also attach a bit of some MELCon guidance or some MELCon notes in the classwork as well. So that'll be at the bottom if you need that as well. But just know we're not doing anything different than what we've done before. We're just practicing these skills once again with a new text. Once we have finished the graphic organizer, we need to go on to our template. You need to do MLA format, all right? So I want you to write your final draft on this template. You're going to delete this stuff here. You're going to write your header. You're going to put your page number, your title, and then you're going to write your paragraph all in MLA format. The requirements for MLA are listed in this document. So as you can see, the page number and what it should be looking like in kind of a templated version. Your header, where that's supposed to be, and a kind of a templated version, but also a more concrete example. You need to title your paper, and that would be in the center. The type of font we're using, Times New Roman, the size we're using for the font, 12, and then indenting at the beginning of a paragraph. All right, so that's a very quick list of the requirements. If you need some more guided assistance on that when you're doing it on your own, you can use the MLA paper setup using Google Docs slideshow. There's also a link here to click on to give you some audio of me explaining how to do this and giving you a bit of a tutorial, but it's step-by-step instructions for how to do each portion of the MLA formatting process, all right? Like I said, we'll go through that in class on Thursday, but that is a guide for you to use on your own if you need it. So to go back up to our checklist, number 5, do the graphic organizer. 6, once you're done with your graphic organizer, move on to the paragraph template. This is where you'll type your final draft in MLA format. Once again, the format is not included for you. You will need to fill that in on your own to show that you know how to do this. And then I showed you the MLA requirements checklist and then also the setup slides for that as well. So those are resources for you. Once you are done typing your final draft, you need to proofread and spell check. If that is not done, you will be losing some points that you can very easily keep. So that is one of our last steps that we need to do. Remember to look. Did I start all sentences with a capital? Did I put periods at the end of all sentences? Did I put a citation at the end after my quote? Then, once you've done all these steps, submit the assignment in Google Classroom. Remember, this assignment is due at 11:59 p.m. on Sunday, February 14th. You're going to have 4 days in class to work on this, 3 extra calendar days if needed. Please let me know what I can do to help. Come to meets with questions, come to class with questions, come ready to work with a charged Chromebook. There's going to be lots of opportunities for help, but I can't help if I don't know that you're struggling. So please make sure you reach out. I'm happy to help. And if you need anything else, let me know. Thanks.